This is a market update, a massive week for Bitcoin. We have an interest rate hike and we have half of the S&P coming out with their results this week. A lot of people are saying that because forward expectations in stocks are going to be quite poor, that will just have a correlation to Bitcoin and Bitcoin will come down as well. I believe this is too simplistic and it doesn't take into account how Bitcoin trades on interest rates and money supply. That is why we have seen a rally from the low, a very strong rally in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the rest of the crypto market as well. Now, Ethereum, because of the merge, and that is going through. So you have a specific narrative there that is pushing Ethereum to new highs against Bitcoin. But what we're seeing with Bitcoin as well, it's really important, is bad news in the stock market does not necessarily mean bad news for Bitcoin at this point, because we're at a stage now where the rate hikes are starting to come to an end. And so I want to talk about that in this video and try and explain that a little bit more. What we'll look at first is the companies that are reporting this week. So Google and Microsoft on the 26th, 27th is Meta, 28th is Apple and Amazon. They're going to show us where the economy is in terms of demand and growth expectations. Not expected to be good, of course, but that is not necessarily bad for Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is starting to price in something right now, which is why we've seen this rally from 19.5 to 22,000. Now, just for price levels of Bitcoin, this green box is this week. We have Tuesday right here, which is the FOMC, 75 basis points rate hike. We also have half of the S&P giving us their forward projections right here during this week. Now, what we're seeing is a healthy correction to what now should be a support level. What was resistance twice, and we broke through that resistance here, and now we're coming back to a healthy test of what now should be support around this level at 21,500. Totally normal to test support right here at 21.5. If we break through this, then of course we're looking anywhere from kind of mid-range of this trading range, or even to the low. So that's a potential down to around 19,000. That's a potential. If we bounce off of this though, expect traders to start coming in here and really pushing the price up. But why would Bitcoin go up if the stock market is saying that growth is poor and earnings are going to come down? That comes down to rates and money supply, which is actually what Bitcoin trades off long term. We'll look at that now. If you want to get a deposit bonus on Bybit, I'll leave the link in the description. They give up to $4,000 as a deposit bonus in your futures trading account. So if you trade futures, or if you're a short-term trader, check that out. I'll give you a deposit bonus. But what we can see here is that 75 basis points is priced in for the 27th of July. So you can see that right here, 75 basis points priced in. But what's important to understand this week is what the Fed says about what they're going to do next time. How is growth in the economy shaping up? How is inflation shaping up? We're going into what the market expects is to be the topping out of rates. And this is why Bitcoin has bottomed 3 times and rallied from there. So you have to understand that if growth expectations in stocks are even worse, then the rate market, the interest rate market, which is what Bitcoin trades off, is going to price in even faster and harder rate cuts. And that is always bullish for Bitcoin, because rate cuts and the debasement of money is what drives the price of Bitcoin higher. This is a very complex picture. It's not as easy to say, if that goes down, then Bitcoin will go up. It's not that easy, of course. There's lots of correlations here. And of course, if the economy is doing very poorly, then obviously less money is sloshing around to purchase high beta names like Bitcoin. But what we can see here is that 75 basis points is priced in for this meeting. And then we're looking at anywhere from 25 to 50 basis points at the next meeting. So that's what we're seeing here, 75 basis points here this week, and then the next meeting somewhere around 25 or 50. The market is undecided, and that is what you have to listen for, to what the Fed says it's going to do next meeting. Does it think that growth has actually really come off enough, or does it think that it has to be even more hawkish here? I think they're going to remain very hawkish in this meeting because the job isn't done yet. However, what we're seeing is the market say, you know what, we understand that you have to remain hawkish here, but we are seeing towards the end of this year and into 2023, not far away, that rates are going to start coming down because the recession and the growth has just completely stalled. And that's what Bitcoin is starting to price in. As rates come down, the money supply gets a bit looser. Again, that is what Bitcoin is starting to price in. So even if there might be a lot of noise this week and some sell-offs because forward rate expectations, understand why Bitcoin trades like it does, and that this is not a hawkish environment for Bitcoin going into the start of next year. What we can also see here is just a long-term chart. And as you can see, as money supply gets looser, this is the blue line going up, Bitcoin goes up in price. As money is taken out of the market, Bitcoin dumps. This is what's happening now. Money is being taken out of the market. Recession is coming, but every market trades on forward 6-12 months out. In 6 to 12 months, you'll be looking at a much looser environment. And that's what Bitcoin is starting to price in right now. And it's been doing it for a few weeks. Here you can see the commodity index as well. When we're talking about inflation, commodities are coming down. Okay, so inflation is not going to remain high given that commodities are coming down in price. You have to wait for this to come out, but we can see Bitcoin pricing it in already. Here's the dollar index. As you can see towards the tail end of last year, Bitcoin dollar index coming down, Bitcoin going up. Then we've seen this, which is absolutely terrible for Bitcoin, the dollar getting very strong against everything, but you're seeing a potential top here with a retracement. Now, this is still really printing a higher low. So what we would like to see is maybe the dollar index just come through here and really confirm a potential kind of top on that. But the main thing to understand is that the market is pricing in a more dovish environment, as you can see right here towards the end of this year. And that is what Bitcoin is starting to react to as well, which is, we've seen this pump up here. So it's really important to understand that even if stocks do come down, and there might be a lot of noise this week with interest rate hikes and the Fed being, chatting away, being hawkish, the market is starting just to speculate on this, saying, you know what, we think this is coming towards the end. And so really important to understand how that speculation is leading to different prices in Bitcoin, not just this constant downtrend. But the market, as you can see, it's just speculating on Bitcoin bottoming out here. And so how that plays out is extremely interesting. Short term, difficult to judge, but you can see how this is changing. The rate expectations are coming down, and a recession that is confirmed is obviously going to be met with easing from central banks, because that's what they do when there's a recession. So this will be a very noisy week, but what we know is 75 basis points is priced in already. Now, if stocks project a much tougher environment and much slowing growth, the Fed isn't going to signal that it has to raise 50 basis points next time. And if it doesn't signal that over the next few months, then you're looking at a much smaller raise. And what we know is Bitcoin trades off interest rates and money supply. During a recession, which is the market's trying to price in right now, Bitcoin actually does better because money is looser. And that is what the market is pricing in now. Check this level. This is a very important level. 21,500 is support right here. If we bounce off this, it's good news for Bitcoin. And if we break through it, then we're looking at anywhere from potential 20,000 down to 19,000 would be absolutely normal. If you want to trade on Bybit, check that link in the description. They'll give you a deposit bonus up to $4,000, depending on how much you deposit on the platform. I'm James with MoneyZG. Cheers for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.